Hello, my name is Brian Hendricks, and this is my virtual tour of Death Valley for the third quarter of Stewardship for 2020. So Death Valley is a national park located in the Mojave Desert, and most of it is in California, although there is a small bit in Nevada. It is the lowest, driest, and one of the hottest national parks in the U.S. Despite its seemingly desolate and deadly landscape, the park does have multiple oases, which provide a great refuge for the diverse ecosystem that has survived in the area. So, what exactly is there to see at Death Valley that's so awe-inspiring? First, we have Badwater Basin. Badwater Basin is one of the lowest points in South America, and inside the basin, there is massive salt flats that appear to go on forever. And all of these crystalline structures form in a hexagonal pattern. So as you can see in one of the pictures, all of the salt particles appear to create little ridges in the ground. And this is where in 1913, at the time, the hottest temperature ever recorded was taken here at 134 degrees Fahrenheit. Although this has been beaten in the past decade or two by another spot, I believe, in Africa. The Artist Pallet is a unique section of the valley where wind and natural erosion has exposed many different types of minerals, leading to people to say it looks like a Bob Ross painting. The minerals include those such as iron salt, which causes the reds, the pinks, and the yellows, decomposing mica, which causes the green, and manganese, which causes the purple. Devil's Golf Course is another large field of rock salt that has been eroded over time by wind and rain to produce a field of jagged spires. The people in the area say, or I should say, the tour guides in the area say it's so rough and uneven that only the devil could play golf on such rough links. If you listen carefully, you can even hear the whistling of the wind as it blows through the valley and erodes more of the rock. Mesquite Flats is a large sand dune field in the park. This is where you get a lot of those sort of picturesque views of the desert. In the dunes consist of three different types: crescent, linear, and star-shaped. These are different shapes of how the sand dunes appear and how they are formed. And all of these are formed through wind that starts blowing sand onto an object, and they start piling up. The dunes are pretty cool because you're able to walk through them, walk on top of them, and as you walk through them, you just hear nothing, and it's just endless fields. The Ubehebe Crater is a very large, 600 foot deep and half-mile wide crater that was formed when rising magma flashed groundwater, which turns it to steam, and also heated gas beneath the ground to such a point that the resulting explosion results in this crater. In the surrounding areas, you also see many more craters, some not as big, but still very impressive as it looks like the lunar landscape. The Racetrack. The Racetrack is one of the most interesting yet mysterious places in the park. After this very long 12-mile drive over very rocky terrain, you will come to a large field that is just covered in thousands of rocks that have little tracks behind them. And the reason why it's called the Racetrack is because people have seen year after year, they've come back and they will see a rock, and the next year it will have moved. No one's there moving them. It's actually a combination of water, wind, and ice that comes down during the winter from the surrounding Sierra Nevadas and actually creates a very thin layer of ice and water on the ground, which is then the rocks are slipped over by the wind, causing the rocks to race each other. If you are a big Star Wars fan, you most likely know that a big portion of Tatooine scenes were filmed in Death Valley. These were mainly scenes from the original Star Wars and Return of the Jedi. You can actually take a tour of all these film locations, and if you're a big Star Wars fan, it's pretty cool. So in conclusion, Death Valley National Park is a large park that has plenty of unique places to visit. The park has some very unique and kind of like colorful and crazy natural landmarks in the world, and they all have interesting geological and environmental reasons for being there. When we get out of this quarantine, I would highly recommend that one of your first family vacations be to visit Death Valley National Park.